Shameless. United in the Europa League. Europa League. Me tell them one time and we say Europa League.
Omonia 2, Manchester United 3. A Europa League victory for Erik ten Hag's men in Cyprus. Marcel, difficult, edgy at times. What did you make of today?
Yeah, we made hard work of it, to be honest with you. It was difficult. We conceded 2 goals. I think that's the bad thing. Against this kind of opposition, you know, the first time Man United are playing against them, to concede 2 goals. But it just speaks to where we're at our club right now. You know, 6-3 last game. This game now 3-2 scrappy when it could have been out of sight, to be honest with you. You know, Ronaldo has how many chances? At least 5. And I think as a striker, that's what you want. You want at least 3 in a game, 4 in a game. So he maybe could have scored 1. Anthony had a goal-gaping chance. You know, Bruno had a half chance. But, you know, I think the positive is the likes of Marcel and Rashford. You know, you're going to want them playing on Sunday. And they came on and they had fire to them. They were hungry. Especially Rashford was extremely hungry. But, you know, everyone's been saying it, you know, how we've been caught out on transition. Bruno was even talking about it. Bruno was talking about it last game, how we shouldn't be getting caught out on transition. And that's happened twice today. It's difficult for us, Owen, right now. And we'll just see what happens.
Talk to me about Ronaldo. We spoke about quite a few attacking options there. We'll do them individually. Yeah. Ronaldo first. Of course, he's going to dominate discussion after the game. Yeah. You mentioned he had about 5 chances, maybe even more. Yeah. Obviously hits the post. What did you make of his performance today? And where do you think it leaves him going forward in Ten Hag's side?
I was saying old man. You know, I was saying that. And
I forgot about that.
I was saying old man. And we need fresh, young, hungry players. And I think that's Man United's ethos. It's always been the best young talent. And you know, for many a year, and we've lost our way with the likes of the Falcaos and, you know, older players that are just not there, Cavani's. You need a young, hungry forward. And yes, Ronaldo's the GOAT and he's world class. And we were down on him. I think I was doing this last season at points, but he was getting a run of games. You know, the manager was still trusting him and he was playing 5-6 game stretches. And yes, he had a barren spell last season, but he came good. But that's because he had games. Games, you know, encourages you to pick up good form, but that's just not going to happen under Ten Hag by the looks of it, early stages. So I just feel like his time's come up and hopefully in January we look to get a striker or he moves on. I did say, you know, and we were speaking many a times on shows that he will be professional, and I think he has been. Yeah. I give him that credit. He's been very professional, but it's just these moments, he just doesn't look physical enough for the game, and even against Vallecaro, you know, there was moments where the pace is not there and just doesn't look the Ronaldo of 26 years old. Put it that way. As for, you know, Rashford looks like he's growing in confidence more and more now. He looked very timid, you know, towards the pre-season. Looked good, but the early starts of the season hasn't been pressing, hungry enough. Today, flying into challenges, pressing everywhere. So it bodes well for us, you know, that he's coming in to form now. And then again, Martial. You mentioned it, man. He's been involved in everything. Every single time he comes on, he makes an impact. That's what you want from your subs. You want them to come on and change the game, add something to the game. He's been brilliant. And that's another player. At the beginning of last season, I was saying he just doesn't need to be a Man United player. Yeah. But, you know, Ten Hag's come in and said, look, this is my number 9. And it's in Ten Hag we trust. Next, I think, hopefully, Everton, we start him. He needs to start. That goal-scoring form is something that we need because we was finding it very difficult to break down this low block. Yes, we was creating chances, but we need a finish. That's what shows that all that hard work and all that moving of positions and players, it counts for something once you score. Who else is there? I mean, Anthony's played, you know, he scores big goals. Yeah. He scores a lot of big goals, but it's just, I think his general play is something that I'm, you know, still the questions out on that. You know, can you take on players and that kind of thing? But it's been good from him as well. He should have shot.
Well, he nearly scored today, didn't he? He nearly scored. Keeper made an unbelievable save. To your point, he should have had a shot. He tried to square it to Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. So what does that front three look like to you then? Is it a case of Martial, Rashford, Anthony, or is it something a little bit different? What are you thinking?
No, you're right. It has to be Martial in that middle. I think he's got that odds on, and we've all been saying, you know, from the left side, Rashford looks like he scores goals. I mean, against Arsenal, that's happened, and he just looks a lot sharper from that left side. But then that means Anthony, who we spent all that money on, Manchester United, has to stay on the right, and you've got to trust him there. Martial looks wasted out on the right. He didn't play that well today. He just was out of the game a bit. Bruno didn't have a brilliant game, but you know, I think he assists for Rashford. He does. He played the long pass over to Rashford for the assist. So that's something good to take from him. But Casemiro, I think it has to be Casemiro and Scott McTominay. I think
Really?
Yeah, against Everton, I think if you play 2 8s instead of a 10, Bruno as a 10, I just feel like he's not doing it enough. I think you maybe have to share the creative responsibility with Eriksen as another 8, just for this game in particular, just so that we can get at them, because I don't want them to get confidence like Omonia did today, and they kind of just grow into the game. And we gave them those opportunities. How many chances did they even have at Owen? It was 3.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3, something like that. I mean,
Shot from distance.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke Casemiro there. Obviously, before the game was a discussion point of whether he was going to start.
Yeah.
Got 80 minutes. It's been reported he's probably going to start against Everton at the weekend. You were on Casemiro watch on the match view. What did you make of his performance? And is this now the time he starts to bed himself into the United side, do you think?
I hope so, but I did say, after the City game that I want a similar team. So I would like to see maybe Scott start again. But and after this performance, the first half wasn't that good. The second half was a lot better. He just goes into these challenges too quickly. He's too rash. But then sometimes Scott's like that. Obviously, we know Casemiro's got the quality and ability defensively, and he will displace Scott. So at some stage, he will. I 100% believe that he will. It's just I would have given this whole squad that just got absolutely mauled against City just the opportunity to show that they have the ability again, especially after this game as well.
I mean, I might be walking into dangerous territory here, but after the first goal, you had some words to say about David De Gea. What did you make of his performance? I mean, he didn't really have anything to do today apart from pick the ball out of his net twice. Yeah. What do you think about De Gea?
I had something positive to say about his passing, his decision making at one stage, but
he rolled it out.
Yeah, he rolled it out. Okay, so I don't know. I feel like he's suffocating our game a little bit in terms of the Ten Hag ball. We're not actually playing Ten Hag ball, in my opinion. So that's one thing for us to think about. But just the near post is a massive alarming sign for him. I mean, last season, I think, against City at home, we conceded near post. Luke Shaw and him had a little problem there. I think Bernardo sneaks in. Foden scores near post this season. It just hits it mid-drift near post. It's not good enough. And then today, a lot of people say it's a difficult technique. I've seen, obviously, Reece James hit roof of the net at Champions League, I think, yesterday. And roof of the net is a difficult place to get to. But still, I think you can come out quicker. You can squeeze the space of the pitch. You're starting so far back in the halfway line. Malacia should really have an option. I think in Ten Hag's system, Malacia has an option to go backwards. Yes, it's a hospital pass by Sancho, and it's poor quality there. And Malacia's been playing poorly. I think he maybe needs to be displaced by Shaw. And like I was saying before in the match view, Shaw is good under pressure. I mean, he comes and he plays well, and his best spell for us has been when he's been challenged by Tellers. So I don't know. I just feel like De Gea needs to move on. If I'm honest with you, our Ten Hag ball is not going to be able to get to the next stage with De Gea in goal for us.
There you go. De Gea needs to move on. Omonia 2, Manchester United 3. Another victory in the Europa League.